Good morning. It's lovely to see you. Here I am inside. It's just a little bit too breezy out. So we're going to do rocks. There is never a problem doing rocks. This is chrysoprase. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, look, I didn't think that it's jade. But I finally, with some help from some friends, or maybe it was Google, I figured out it was chrysoprase. I think somebody suggested it, and then I looked for pictures and thought, oh yeah, that's right, that's what it is. It's got this beautiful brown piece on either side. Hi, Jenny, great to see you. And it's probably, I don't know how, oh, there you go. You can actually see it's a really rich brown. It's not dark. I mean, it's like 60% dark chocolate, not 70% dark chocolate. Hi, Linda. Morning. So I'm just enjoying this chrysoprase, and it's a lovely shape. It's really nice to hold and stroke because it's all tumbled and smooth. And well, there you go. All distorted, of course, but there you go. Good morning, Holly. Good morning, Julian. It's lovely to see you both here. Excuse me. And this is a wonderful rock. It's got a little label on the back, right? I'm going to read the label. Smoky Amethyst Cathedral Celestial from the Irongo. So that's somewhere in Africa, probably South Africa. But look at this. You can see all these fabulous shapes. Looks like a block of, you know, those they're in the, like in the Mediterranean and Greece and Sicily, and they have those stacks of apartment houses going up a hillside. That's exactly what this reminds me of. And you can see all the beautiful shapes that are kind of etched on these faces. And here you can see more obviously how the smoky quartz is smoky. Good morning, Faye! And there's the skeletal part. You know, it's fabulous. It's a wonderful piece. This is from my friend Jenny's collection. Good morning, Tanya. Lovely to see you. And, you know, there is really nothing missing. It's just so fabulous. And see the shapes there. Oh, it's great to see you too. Oh, two people hugging a child. I suppose it does. Yeah, there you go. There's the baby. It's beautiful. And let's get, yeah, see, we've got the lights on all the sloping roofs on these houses now. There's the fronts of the houses, and there's the sloping roofs. It's fabulous. And there you can see the sort of skeletal aspect. You get a plane, and there's a hole in the middle of it, so it's a bit like a skeleton. It's just gorgeous. So there we go. Yeah, love all around, Julian. Thank you, sweetheart. So, those are our rocks today. And today, again, I was looking for inspiration. It's funny, sometimes we have a conversation and comments get dropped and think, oh, I know what I'm talking about. Hi, Di. Good morning, sweetie. Good morning, Heather. And other days it's like, what the hell? And last night was one of them. And I was having a conversation and chat with a beautiful friend of mine who was making enormous changes. And really, she didn't ring me up, but it was like, I'm writing because I'm stuck. And I just can't, I've gotten stuck. And everything seems too big and too hard. And I know it's not. I just can't figure out how to do it because my brain's in a twist. And can you give me some ideas? So I brainstormed a few things and said, well, why don't you try this and why don't you try that? And while I was doing it, I didn't say, why don't you try? I said, well, I would do this and I would do this and I would do this. And it was all very practical stuff because I have learned in my own life and in working with others that about 95% of everything that we think is something that we're not big enough or strong enough or disciplined enough to do is practical. It's pure logistics. And we get all wound up in the emotional stuff and think that we're the problem and we're not working hard enough, when in fact, really, we're just trying to climb a mountain with a small piece of cotton string and a fishing hook to get up it. And in fact, it's like the tools you have and the way you're applying yourself to the challenge just don't match the challenge. And so what I did was, because I was just thinking, I need to, cut it down, divide and conquer, make this easier. And then I remembered something that had just happened in the Heartfield yesterday morning, because this was yesterday, right? We had this awesome time in the Heartfield yesterday. We always do. But it's like every time, it's like, oh my God, that's amazing. And someone had asked a question and I'd answered it, quite usefully. But then someone else said, hey, can I make a suggestion? It's like, oh, of course, because everybody's a genius in that group. Everybody's a genius, by the way, we just forget it. And they said, well, what if you did this? And it's like, oh my God, thank you so much for making that practical, because I had not made it something that you can actually do. This genius said, here's a possibility, here's an exercise, here's the way that you can actually apply this. And this is where people fall over. They have these great, grand ideas, me too, this is the principle, this is the theory, this is the philosophy. And we forget to actually cut it down and shape it into something that not only is, oh yeah, well that might work, but actually, okay, I can do that, cool, it's actually possible for me now, and more than that, I'm actually going to do that. I actually will do that. I'm going to hold myself accountable to do that because I know that I can do that. It's like I'm lined up inside myself enough with this thing that I'm choosing to do because it really fits me. And I think, from my present state of being, sure, I want to climb Mount Everest, but right now I need to learn to walk 100 yards. So I can actually manage that. So let me just not focus on Mount Everest, or let me just practice walking 100 yards. And the very human and natural and normal thing for most people to do is to say, how the hell am I ever going to climb bloody Mount Everest if I can only walk 100 yards? And we freak out and think, oh, look, I need to be running an endurance race and I need to start training for that tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and it's like, oh, this is too hard. Because it is too hard. You're trying to fly before you can even run, and you're trying to run when you can barely walk. And we actually have to get real with ourselves, which, depending on who you are, can be really challenging in itself. And you think, okay, I may want to fly to the moon, but right now I don't have wings and I don't have a rocket ship. So what can I actually do, one, and two, emotionally embrace that is going to take a teeny tiny step towards the thing that I want to do. And then there's this conversation that has to go on in your head that says, this teeny tiny small step is not as teeny and tiny and small as it seems. And if I invest my energy and my intention and my attention and my action and my determination into mastering this small step, first, it's bigger than I think, and second, I'm going to get more fitness, I'm going to build some neural networks, become a little bit of a different person, and then I'll be able to embrace another small step, which, you think, oh, but it's only just another small bloody step, it's not big enough, it's not fast enough, I'm going to miss out, there isn't enough time, all of that stuff comes into your awareness. It's just not happening fast enough. And we go into this thing of trying to fly when we don't even have wings. And it's not the same as being small, Linda. You're so right. Getting real, if you can really get truthful and find things that you can do, but you also will do. And then make yourself accountable. And one of the things I said was, look, dear friend, whom I love very much, take a piece of paper, write, and this is what only 1 week, write the days and the dates of just the next week down the side of the paper, right? Stick it on your fridge with a fridge magnet. Now, of course, I would never do this. My fridge is pristine. There is nothing on my fridge. I love my fridge pristine, but I might actually, for this, if I was really determined to create a new change in my life, I might actually, for the period of time. But I wouldn't leave it on my fridge long term because I like my fridge pristine. There you go. Small thing about Maddie. Write the days and the dates, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and insist that you do one thing of, here's what I've suggested. Insist that you do X, and if you like, do Y, and just write something, I did this. And one of the things I did was actually to just change your emotional state. And this is exactly what I said. It doesn't matter whether you go from I'm feeling completely despondent to I feel pissed off. because that's an improvement, right? Going from, oh God, I just want to die, I want to give up, to being, I'm angry with the world, is a step or 3 up the emotional scale. And if that's what you can do, you write it there, and you have done that. You have, and this is why that one small step from being completely despondent to just pissed off is a giant leap in the field. Because to make that change, quantumly, energetically, emotionally, physically, and yeah, strategy. Oh my God, I've suddenly realised, thank you, Heather, I'm a strategist. Who knew? In order to make that change and to write it down on that piece of paper, you had to make so many choices for yourself. You had to choose to do the piece of paper and put it on the fridge. And that's not a small thing if you're in a complete, oh, this is too hard. It's not small. It may require an enormous amount of effort to be able to do that. Oh yeah, the poetry magnets. Well, maybe you need to see if you can find a piece of scrap metal and do it on that. Just wild idea flying in my, there's lots of choices. It doesn't have to be a fridge. It can be something else. Or get a blackboard. Not quite the same, but anyway. So, you have to get the piece of paper, you put it on the fridge. That's the first thing. And to be able to do that, to say, I went from despondent to pissed off, you have to first notice that you got despondent, that you are despondent, that you woke up perhaps feeling like, oh, shit, this is crap, it's too hard, I can't do it. You have to notice that, and you have to step outside of it enough to be able to start thinking, oh my God, greater than your feeling, which can be really, really hard. But you've got to actually see, oh my goodness, I am feeling really despondent today. I just don't want to move. I want to pull the covers over my head and go back to sleep. You have to notice all of that. And then you have to make some kind of determined effort to change your state of being. And whatever that was, and you think, oh shit, I'm just feeling angry now because I can't change my state any further, but you did change your state. Hi, Jen! And to acknowledge that you did change your state and you made that determined internal effort to think something different, to try to feel something different. Those are huge things to do, particularly if you've never done them before. They're really big. So you might think, oh God, I went from despondent to pissed off. It didn't seem like bloody much. But look what you did to achieve that. We think that the thing that looks small on the outside is small on the inside, but it's not. And that's why these massive challenges that we have in our lives, like, oh my God, for 40 years I've just tried to make enough money to break even. This is me, right? Now, it's different now, but for a very long time, that was my story. Breaking even was accomplished by drawing early on my inheritance. That's how I have survived for quite some time. It's changing now because I'm changing. But this was just so fucking impossible, and I was very invested in how impossible it was, and I couldn't think outside that box, and I couldn't feel outside that box. It was just not there. And it took me quite some effort, really. Not, I've got to work harder and do more hours and make more money at crappy pay rates and not sleep and, and work 3 jobs. Not that kind of effort. The effort to change myself and my thinking and my feeling. It's going a lot easier these days because now I go into the unified field. And the unified field, for anybody who doesn't know what the feck I'm talking about, or when somebody writes about it, is an invisible field of information and frequency that exists beyond space and time. And when you're there, you are all of that information and frequency. You are literally, really, the mind of God. All the experiences from the past and all the experiences from the future, all the memories, all the know-how, all the wisdom, all the, oh gee, that was a bit silly, I won't do that again, and all the, oh my God, that's possible, I feel this, it's happened, it's done. When you're in the field, all of that is available because you're just pure thought. And the thought becomes real, it becomes the experience. And you come back to your senses and think, oh my God, I really felt that. And then, oh my God, if I know how that feels, maybe I can live a bit more like that today. So this is a teleporter for me. It's so much faster than what I used to do. It took me so much longer to even begin getting outside of the box of I can't do this. And I'm so resentful and sad and frustrated and blah, 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 blah about it. That was how it was. And now I have a teleporter. It's going fast. I am actually earning more. My husband's earning again after a long time because he had an injury, and it's a long story. It's just all happened very naturally and easily. But before I had the teleporter, this was the kind of thing that I was doing. And I know that it works. It's just slower. But maybe you're not interested in the teleporter. Maybe you don't want to learn to meditate. And, it's not meditation staring at a candle, which is fine if you love that. I'm not knocking it for you. That just never grabbed me. This is the only kind of meditation that has ever grabbed me. And now this work utterly consumes me because I'm getting results. Oh, did I mention my body keeps healing, And stuff that doesn't heal. Things that medical science says you're not going to get better from that. Well, I am. I have. It's done. And it's still happening with more things. So, it's pretty amazing. But if you're not ready for that, this is how you do it. You have to look at your massive great goal, or even if you are ready for that, or even if you are doing that, but you're confronted by something that's just like, I'm completely stonkered here. I don't know what to do. This is just too big, too hard, and I'm just, brain dead, can't work it out. Step it back, make it smaller. Thoughts and emotions are energetic patterns, and energy is neither created nor destroyed, so all thoughts exist forever infinitely. Yes, they do. And all that happens is that we, with our awareness, where we put our attention and our awareness, we tune into that. So you tune your radio station to that. My radio station, my television station, my Wi-Fi, my everything was tuned to my leg. And that's what I got. Because that's all I was. That was, and all of those infinite, limitless potentials in the unified field, which everybody's tuning into all the time. We're just not conscious about it, right? Most people do not do this consciously because I don't know how. And I didn't know how. Now I do. Those limitless potentials are there all the time, and we are tuning into them all the time. It's just that most of us are doing it habitually and unconsciously. And whatever we're used to tuning into is just whatever we're used to tuning into, and we keep doing it. So you're permanently stuck on the same station. And if it's a great station, that's wonderful. But if it's a shitty station, it just keeps on being shitty. And you wonder why it doesn't change. It's because you're still tuned into the same old shitty transmission. And everything is there. Good, bad, and different. Whatever you tune into is what's going to show up. We are totally the antenna for the unified field. You're absolutely right, Linda. So, this is the really nitty-gritty, not even going into the unified field to do the work. Although if you can, this is still going to be useful to you because I still do this. You've got to take whatever massive challenge you're facing and pull it back to something you can do and something you can actually emotionally embrace and think, I not only can do that, but I will do that. I'm going to do that. How am I going to make sure that I'm accountable to myself? But you don't want to set yourself up for failure. So it's got to be small enough. And you have to remember that whatever you decide that is that small thing, it only looks small. All of the mental architecture that you have to do in deciding and pulling out the one piece you're going to change. By the way, it doesn't just change that one piece, it changes everything. But you're going to focus on one thing. Sing Marie, good morning, sweetie. That process of creating your strategy. So I'm going to focus on this for the next month. Because remember, it takes about 3 weeks to create a new habit. So if you can get something going for 3 weeks, 21 days in a run, and then you have to keep deciding. Sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it's really fast. But that habitual thing, that thing of repeating it, that's building the new program inside your head. Alicia, good morning. That's creating the new architecture in you, and it's getting you accustomed to a different experience. And remember, experience creates emotion, and emotion enriches the brain, and emotion conditions your body to that new experience, that new way of being that's you. So it really doesn't matter how small it is. Make it achievable and understand that what you are deciding to do, that process of finding something that's achievable and sticking to it, is vastly more important than whatever it is that you do and stick to. Because when you have that process organised and you know you can do that, well, then you can do it again with the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And it's great when somebody gives you a rocket boost and suddenly you go from Mars to Uranus. You're totally, whoa, huge shift. But most of the big changes in our lives happen through these apparently tiny steps. And they don't happen because of the steps. We all look for three-dimensional progress and change and use that as a way to measure our progress. It's bullshit. It's not the true measurement. The measurement is what's going on between your ears and in your heart and in your body. And who you are becoming as you shape yourself and as you create inside yourself the mental and emotional hardware and programs and strategies and systems to be able to create change in your life. And when you've got that down, you can create change in your life. And so you can create change in your life. It doesn't matter how small the increments are. You're going to keep building them. It's so obvious we don't see it. The ability to create change is much, much more important than the change. Because if you do it once, you can do it again. And that's what I wanted to say today. Thank you so much for joining with me. It's always a pleasure to share with you. Big love. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.